Well, good morning. It is Monday, April the 15th. I do believe this is a cutoff day for taxes, for those that do them. It's forecast to be sunny and warm today. I know it was already in the mid-50s when I went down to the barn. It's a gorgeous day the Lord has made. What a gorgeous day it is. I'd like to wish a warm welcome to my Canadian viewers and listeners. It was so nice to meet you yesterday in church. It was an honor. Thank you for making yourselves known and for calling me out. And it was great to meet you. I hope you had a good lunch yesterday. I hope you have a safe journey home. We're going into the King James Bible, the book of Leviticus, chapter 15. And here we go again. This is God talking to Moses, okay? These words are God's words. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man have a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue. Whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lieth, that hath the issue, is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he that sat hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean unto the even. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whomsoever he toucheth that hath the issue, and hath not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth which hath the issue shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that hath an issue is cleansed in his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue. And if the man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the even. And every garment and every skin whereon the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the even. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the even. And if a woman have an issue, and in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if it be on her bed, or anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. If a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of her issue of uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sitteth on shall be unclean as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord for her issue of uncleanness. Thus shall you separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defileth therewith. And of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that have an issue, of the man of the woman, of him that lieth with her, that is unclean. That's quite an expression, is it? That is sick of her flowers. I'm supposing they're talking, God is referring to what we call a woman's period. And of course we know that a man, copulation, talking about ejaculation. This isn't an interesting chapter in as much as it probably affects everybody in one way or another, but not to this extent. But we can empathize with what was happening here and what the Israelites had to go through in order to cleanse themselves because God had deemed it so. And you wonder why God would do this. Why was he affecting every single aspect of their lives? Little JJ is looking at me through the glass door at the bottom of the stairs. He has the most gorgeous look on his face. I'm coming, honey. And every aspect of our lives, down to the minutest detail, God knows. He can see. And this is something that we can embrace and know. That no matter where we are, we cannot hide from God. He can see us everywhere. You cannot sin in secret from God. He can see everything. Everything. He can see into your heart, into your mind, into your lives. We are laid open to him. Now, if that doesn't give you a sense of conviction to not sin, I don't know what would, because everything you do, no matter where you are, no matter how secret it is, God can see it. God can see what's going on. Oh, he's scratching at the door. Excuse me a minute. Come on in. Hello, Jay. Okay. My little JJ. This little boy, JJ, he's a little black and white cat. He was out in the yard one day, a tiny kitten. And he sat on the tarmac at the back of my truck, and I took pictures of him. I just laid down on the ground and got down to his level and took some pictures of him. Then he went missing for a few days. Not unusual for kittens, obviously, to, return to their mother and seek shelter and stuff. But he went missing. And then one day, our neighbor said, "There's little tiny cat paw prints on my car." And I thought, that must be like little JJ. So we had a garage door opener for the other side of Dot's garage, and I opened the door, and I brought a bowl of food out because I thought, if he's been in there all these days. And I opened the door, and he came running out straight to me and the bowl and started to eat. And I picked him up. And in spite of the fact that he must have been ravishingly hungry, he nestled into me. Just this little tiny kitten, as if to say thank you. He wasn't bothered about his food. I scooped up his food dish. Trish was out the side here, and I said, "Look what I've got." And she said, "Oh, he's coming inside." And he did. And he's been a little doll and a blessing to us, as they all have been, little gifts from God. Little departure from chapter 15, I know, but, sometimes you just have to acknowledge God at work in your lives. And we have to remember that all of these creatures are God's creations, all of them, as indeed we are a creation of God, made in His image. And it's with that love and respect that we cherish each and every one of them. And in particular, some of them return that love 100-fold. I wake up every morning and there's this incredible feeling of love from these guys. And my little Lincoln, he's going to be 11, 12 years old, 12 years old this year. And I mean, he's just like a puppy in the morning. There is so much love. This is agape love. This is an unrequited love. He doesn't want anything in return. He just loves me. But in return, I do love him back, and I feed him and look after him and care for him. And it nurtures that in your heart. Don't be reluctant to let that happen to you. It's a God-given gift. A God-given gift. And I thank him dearly for it. Have a great day. Remember, God loves you. Ponder on the Lord's words. Why does he give us such detailed information like this? Why is all this, so important that he takes chapter after chapter and information? It's because he loves us, and there's something in there for us to understand. He loves us, and I love you too. Have a great day now. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget, keep an eye on Pastor Ken and his Rise and Shines. He's going to be talking about the rapture this week. And next week on Wednesday nights, we start about the book, The Great Disappearance. And it's going to be very, very useful and helpful for you. Bye for now.